So you and your family have dreamed of moving into a bigger home. And I'm sure you had to pay above asking price, waive the home inspection, and maybe cover the gap of the appraisal, right? But now you regret buying this big home.
For taking my call to start. So basically, I purchased a home, my first home, back in October, and I am now experiencing buyer's remorse.
So you probably said that old saying, you don't own a house owns you. In this video, we're gonna find the reasons why so many buyers regret buying a bigger house. Number one thing is financial strain. A lot of people regret buying a bigger house because of the financial heaviness. You see, we all dream of having more space, a bigger backyard, a 3-car garage, having that beautiful pool in the background. But then what happens is that we don't consider that all those things are going to cost us more money. So knowing that you're going to have to pay more for something like this, sometimes it's overwhelming for so many buyers. So I highly encourage you, especially if you come from a lower mortgage or maybe you already paid off your house like long time ago, this is something that you really need to think about. So you need to work out the numbers. Maybe you need to sell your current home, townhouse, condo in order to buy the bigger one so you can pull out the equity, especially within the last 2-3 years of how home prices have gone. Or maybe you have to pull out additional money from investments and stocks and so on, but that's a whole nother thing you have to keep in mind. So this is something that for you to do a proper planning, sit down with a financial advisor, sit down with a loan officer so you can really understand what are you going to be dealing with down the road. So important, work out the numbers. If the monthly payment makes sense to you, then you should use that. Remember, a good rule of thumb is you use 1/3 of your income to pay for the mortgage and the living expenses, another third just to have for savings, and another third is to have for your covering your additional cost of living that you may have. So that way you are not stretching yourself a lot. So you're with me, right? So another big reason within the financial strain is the unexpected cost of all these other things. So today I'm going to break down certain things that maybe you didn't take into consideration when you're buying a bigger house. So like this information right here, it really tells us how much right now you can be spending. Siding is one of those things that sometimes you have to replace in a house. The low cost of replacing siding is about $5,000. Average is about a little bit under $13,000, and on the high, you're looking probably about $20,300. So as you can see, this is a big financial commitment if you want to be buying a house, especially an older home that maybe was remodeled inside but not necessarily the outside, although you better just pay attention to those things. And remember, if you didn't do a home inspection, this really can cost you a lot of money. Another big thing that's associated with these things is the cost of replacing the roof. Yeah, roof national average cost, according from this website, fixr.com, it says the average cost right now, it's about $21,000, although the average range can be between $15,000 to $45,000. On the low end, you can expect to pay $5,000. That's for a smaller home. But on the high end, if you buy into a big house, you're looking at about $60,000. This is according to what this company says. So there is definitely a lot of, it has to do with the size, it has to do with the sheeting, it has to do with the type of shingles that you're going to be putting in, and so on. So just keep in mind that these things are something to take into consideration. And the latest I've heard from insurance companies, if your roof is too old, more than 15 years old, they may not insure your property if you're going to go for a new insurance. So keep in mind that also that roof cost. So try to get all documentation you can get. And if you are going to be buying a house with an old roof, be prepared to pay for a replacement up front. So that way you can be prepared for this. Another big thing, it's windows. Windows can now cost, according to ForbesHomes.com, it can cost you between $450 to $1,400 per window. That's not including any damage that the existing case of the old windows may have. So many homeowners are paying around $750 per window right now. Good idea is you replace them all at once on the front and the back of your property, the side if you have anything, so that way you get a better pricing. Find out about promotions these people may have. A little secret here, if you do replace the windows before going into the winter months, you can probably get a better discount, or coming from the cold months into the spring months. Springtime is prime time for these guys to charge you a very high fee because they have a lot of things going on. So just keep that in mind. So another thing is you're going to have an emergency fund. You need to have an emergency fund, a fund depletion, because you just don't know what unforeseen. I just talk about siding, roof, windows, HVAC is another big thing. Water heater is another big thing, right? And then you have Mother Nature, right? Just a tornado can come by in, but let's see how much money you should have available on the side for emergency fund according to Mr. Dave Ramsey.
Good for you. Well, your personal is 3 to 6 months of expenses.
So lifestyle changes, right? That's another big point here. So what do you mean lifestyle changes? Am I supposed to be buying a bigger house because I want to have a bigger and better lifestyle? Yes, but also has more maintenance, right? A larger house needs more upkeeping. That's just the bottom line. So from cleaning to repairs, so maybe you have, 2 times. Imagine someone coming from a 2,200 square feet home, townhomes, to now moving into 5,000. So just the cleaning alone can double. So the question is, are you going to spend your weekends cleaning the house that you wanted to enjoy? What if you have a backyard with a beautiful pool? Now you're going to spend the weekends cleaning the pool, or you're going to have a company come and clean it for you? What about winterizing that pool? You see, all these things, you didn't have those costs associated with the townhouse or your condo or a one-level house, but now you have them with a bigger property. Less free time, okay? Bottom line, what I'm saying is you have less free time, because if you bought a house that was on 0.1 of an acre and now you have 1 acre, now you have to cut the grass, or are you going to pay for somebody? You see, one way or another, you are going to be paying it. You pay either with time or you pay with finances. And you have to do the math with those things. If you have little kids, then that will probably take you away from helping the wife on a Saturday and Sunday with the little kids. And if you're traveling and the grass is just growing and this house is in a homeowners association, guess what? You're going to get a phone call from the homeowners association saying you have to cut the grass. So think about these things before navigating the bigger house. And of course, large utility bills. Yep, more heating, more cooling, more maintenance, more power washing, more cleaning, more staining the wood surfaces, the trim, more preparation, more of cleaning of the gutters, and those things add up. And if bigger homes nowadays, they have a zoned air conditioning and heating, so you got to be prepared to pay all those things. So that really creates a lot of stress for a lot of people. So the emotional impact of these things, right? This creates a stress and anxiety. I just said it before. If you have been living very comfortably in the townhouse or condo, but now the idea of running all these expenses, mortgage is one thing, insurance is another thing, taxes is another thing, cost of maintenance is a whole nother thing that you have to take into consideration if you're going to be buying this. So make sure to run the numbers, otherwise, you're gonna regret it. But a lot of my clients says, Robert, nobody told me that I needed to be doing all these things. I thought that I needed to buy a house and the house will maintain by itself. No. That somebody's lying to you. Bigger house, bigger responsibility, remember? And some buyers feels like remorseful about the decision. Some people feel like, okay, I have 2,000 square feet now bigger than I had before, but I now have to heat or like warm or cool down more square footage that I'm not using. You see, a lot of people feel bad about those things, and especially when the bills start coming in the mail, you feel like, oh my gosh, my electric bill double up, triple up, quadruple up. So you gotta take some that into consideration right now. And of course, there can be a conflict between husband and wife, right? Because why did we buy this bigger house? Why did we do those things? I'm not saying that don't upgrade your house, but I am saying that take in consideration all of these other things that I'm telling you, otherwise you may regret it. Another big thing is the market value concerns, right? People sometimes they feel a little discouraged because they feel like, what if we need to sell the house like in a year or two and the market all of a sudden does this? If the market is doing this, I would say, great, you're probably gonna make some money or at least cover your basis and just be like flat. But if the market does something like this, then you really will be in trouble if that happens. You also run the depreciation risk of the property, right? Properties, wear and tear, depreciation. Markets acts in a different way. Right now, we're hearing that in Florida, things and prices are not looking good. And there's some other areas where prices are softening and things may just come to a point where it's kind of like a little bit of like a big cool down. So you got to keep that in mind because those things are going to come. And of course, market timing, right? If you just don't time it right, you probably bought out of an emotion and you decided to pay more because you felt like it and you had the income to those things. Remember, life, it's just about up and downs, a lot of cycles. You go up and down, up and down. Your salary income doesn't always stay the same. The hope is it always grows, but sometimes doesn't grow and stays flat. But prices of other things do grow, right? It's called inflation, right? Now, when it comes to timing, nobody knows, right? We don't know when is the right time to buy. We don't know if it's going to be this time or this time. The idea is if you're going to be there for a longer period of time, the better it's going to be for you. If you don't know, then don't even make the move. Honestly, don't even make the move because it's just going to cost you a lot more than you think. Remember that if you're really thinking about making a move to anywhere in the United States, feel free to put me here, click on that link over there. If you want to talk to me about it, or if you're really looking to move to the Washington, D.C. metro area and you want to have a consultation with me, click on that thing. We can have a Zoom call and then we can decide if it makes sense for us to work together. Let's continue with these things. And the last thing I can say is personal fulfillment, right? It's sometimes people just feel bad because they're not utilizing the space that they're supposed to be using it, right? And if you have little kids, right, you remember sometimes those kids just leave the lights on for a period of time, or the water, it's, hot water just running more and they forgot to turn it off, or, kids are kids and sometimes they're very responsible and do things like of that nature. And you want to just keep an eye on those things. And, when winter months come, a lot of people feel the pressure that they want to keep the house warm for the holidays and those things, which really makes it very difficult for a lot of people. So this is where, as I stressed so many times in this video, and please forgive me if I'm doing that, you have to do your math. You really need to understand what is it that you're doing, because otherwise you're going to get in trouble. A lot of people want to move into a smaller home, or just because they just cannot handle the big house. The big house is a lot more work than they expected. A lot of people, family changes, right? Like the empty nesters. People think like, well, kids are gone or kids are spending more time out there with friends and they don't only come to sleep over here. Why do we have this big house, right? Those are a lot of big regrets that people may have sometimes. So this is where you need to really navigate these waters and just be very patient to understand where is it that you need to go. And even, I would say, just do a math calculation of what the spaces that you use at your house and what's costing you in your current home, and then just multiply that by 2 or 3 sometimes when you go into the bigger house, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So I am coming to an end to this video. I hope you find this video very helpful. Do me a favor and drop me a comment right here below and tell me if you have any regrets when you went ahead and bought your bigger house. Let me know if you regretted it immediately or within 6 months or after a year, or you never regretted it and you're very happy because it turns out to be the best thing you ever did. And there are people that are on the same boat, but there are also some people that are on the opposite side. So just drop me some lines here. We'd like to initiate some conversations with you. So a bigger house comes with bigger expenses and more responsibilities. Let's just be honest. More rooms to fill, right? More furniture to buy, more mechanical items to update. This is exactly what's happening in this life, but you're not alone. If you need to have a consultation about any of these things, feel free to drop me a line. Feel free to use Google to research what are other options you may have. If you really don't like the house that you are in, that you just bought because you needed a bigger house, but you don't want it. So this is the end of it. This is Robert Garcia, your local real estate agent here in the Washington, D.C. metro area. Feel free to click on the link over there if you want to have a Zoom consultation. More than happy to do it. No cost to you. And if you're looking to relocate anywhere within the United States and you need a real estate agent, I'll be more than happy to help you with that. With all that being said, have an amazing week. Take care. Bye-bye.